Hi, everybody. It's Jenna. I just wanted to hop on here real quick to say that we recorded this episode before the start of the Caitlin Armstrong trial. Since the beginning of the trial, there's been a lot of new evidence that has either been confirmed to having existed or just the presentation of new evidence in general. This episode is still a very good primer on the entire case, and we plan on updating you next week after the trial has hopefully concluded. Right now, they are on a recess for election day, basically. So, stay tuned for the following episode. Other than that, enjoy. Did you just email me?
No.
Jessica Kalimba's event.
Oh, it's the Evite.
Is that an automatic thing?
Yeah.
I was like, bitch, we're trying to do something
am I
and you
a
were
magician?
emailing me?
Am I a magician of some sort?
I don't
know. Am I
know.
Emerald or... Am I Merlin?
That was the first magician you thought of? Honestly, I wouldn't have been able to think of
Merlin.
magician.
I know. I was thinking Emerald, but he goes, bam. He's a
Emerald?
He's a chef. Yeah. He's a chef. He is in fact.
Am I a magician? Am I Emerald?
Am I Emerald? No, Merlin.
Merlin.
Okay.
She did a little
bippity boppity boop.
A bippity boppity boop gesture.
Yeah, the gesture.
The gesture.
But
no,
it's an Evite for Jamal's birthday.
You're so good about Evites. I convinced Jack to only go to Sky Zone with just Shepard on Wednesday.
That is some straight sorcery because
I am Emerald.
You are Emerald. Bam. 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 But I think it's because I've historically always done their birthdays.
I know. You're a party lady, and I am not a party lady.
I really enjoy people.
I do enjoy people. I don't enjoy hosting children's birthday parties and talking to parents that I don't know.
Oh my God, remember when I had all those kindergarten parents at Shepard's birthday party?
No, I wasn't there. I was with Jeej.
You're right. You were not there. You were with the Jeej. I was sweating the whole time, and I verbally said, if beating my kids is wrong, I don't want to be right. In front of parents that I had never met before. Yeah, that's how I roll. That's how I roll. And I remember because I told my therapist, Donna, you know Donna.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I said this. I was like, immediate regret. And she was like, no, I love it. She was like, if people can't have that sense of humor and like relate in some, like just scrape a little bit off and relate to that, then
Yeah. I'm sure no one cared. The only person,
no, I think they laugh. I hope they laugh.
Yeah, the only person that would have cared is that one person that I hate very, very much.
Like, I don't think he laughed. I didn't look, though, because when I said it, I was being serious. Shepard was literally wearing 3 pairs of underwear, pants down, another pair of underwear wrapped around his head. And I had to yank him out of the jumpy.
Underwear Man. Yeah.
It's a thing?
Yeah.
Oh.
You know Underwear Man.
You mean Captain Underpants?
No.
Oh. No.
Underwear Man.
Doug.
No, it's just that's what sometimes they play on during sleepovers, and then he comes out in the morning as Underwear Man.
So
you're usually sleeping.
I take my sleep real seriously.
Yeah, you're usually sleeping, but it's Underwear Man.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then it makes sense. I'm sure.
Yeah.
But that day I was like,
you were like, why is this happening?
I was like, in front of all of these strangers, you're gonna go full underwear on us, and I was like, get over here. Like quiet, quiet threats, right?
The softest threats are the most threatening.
Yeah. Like the piercing lips.
Okay. So, today we are talking about Anna Moriah Mo Wilson.
Anna Moriah Mo Wilson.
She goes by Mo.
I do love a Mo.
I know. And she was very cute. So she was born May 18th, Taurus season, 1996.
That's my mother-in-law's birthday.
Bah. Wait, she's a Taurus?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense. I love that. So she grew up in Vermont in a family of athletes. Her dad and aunt were both champion skiers. She spent a lot of time outdoors in her youth, skiing during the winter and then mountain biking in the warmer ones. And she was basically just good at everything. So she was captain of her soccer team. Yeah, I know.
She's adorable.
I know.
Okay,
She's very cute.
I just wanted a picture. I don't want story.
You needed confirmation of how cute she was?
Yeah.
So she was good at everything she did. She was captain of her high school soccer team. She began skiing competitively, and she did super, super well. She placed third at the 2013 U.S. Junior National Championship.
Super motivated.
Yeah,
super
very active.
self-motivated and motivating others to be captain.
Mm-hmm. In college, she joined the Dartmouth Alpine Ski Team, but then moved away from skiing as she started getting involved in biking. And then there was, I think, a couple of injuries. So she graduated.
Biking is easier on the knees and stuff, I'm sure.
Yeah. So she graduated from Dartmouth in 2019 and moved to San Francisco, where she started thinking of pursuing cycling more professionally. She started working for Specialized. It's a bicycle components company as a demand planner, which, very side note, in the pickup line at school, I've never seen them before. I've seen them, but they have Specialized trucks. Like the same bike company that she worked for.
What?
You know. I was
my God. And I bet you never saw it before because, it would have never stood out to you. But now that you did,
I actually have seen them. And so they're black. They're matte black, those Sprinter vans that are over by Big Fly. So they're these big black Sprinter vans. And they have just Specialized in, not in, shiny. Mm-hmm. And so I'd always thought someone fucked up that just someone Specialized. I thought someone scraped off the lettering to be to reuse the van. And I was look at that. And then I was oh, that's their look. And yeah, so now I noticed that. But anyway, so she worked for them as a demand planner. So she was a powerhouse from the beginning in gravel racing, which is essentially a cross between mountain biking and road cycling.
Gravel racing.
Racing. So it's it's like a mix. It's basically road racing, but on
mountain,
dirt roads.
It's not mountain, not straight road. It's somewhere in the middle. And
so it's a pretty new sport, and it tends to be a little bit more grassroots. They'll pop up and be oh, we're gonna do a race super kind of indie style. Yeah. And it's a really tight-knit community.
Well, and I feel it's certainly specific and specialized.
Yeah. And they have very cute race names. I have a list.
Go on.
Texas Chain Ring Massacre. Shasta Road Hugger.
I don't know.
What? That's not cute?
I mean, it's cute.
Not
Shasta.
Cute. Not
I was looking for the pun. I'm sorry.
Oh, they're not all puns. They're just cute.
Okay, sorry. Shasta.
Dirty Kanza. Belgian Waffle Ride.
See? I like that.
Rebecca's Private Idaho.
Okay.
Gravel Locos.
There's some cute ones. Yeah.
I just was
Gravel Locos. Crazy gravel.
Crazy gravel.
Crazy gravel.
So in 2021, she started racing in earnest and became clear that she was going to be a star in the sport. So this is very recent. Several times that season, she rode with a man named Colin Strickland. And Strickland was seen as a star in the sport early on. And he kind of helped shape the culture.
Came with a lot of clout.
Came with a lot of clout. And he was lean and fit. And he had this demeanor about him that... one article describes him as having this self-assurance that evokes both a cowboy and a hippie. And then one of his friends kind of called him Gravel Jesus.
Okay.
And so I feel knowing that people called him Gravel Jesus gave him a certain amount of ego. He does have a certain amount of clout. He had, he was the chill bad boy of gravel racing.
Gravel Jesus was just fanning his clout flame and
So he won big early on in his career, but he kind of peaked by the time the pandemic hit. and never quite got his groove back. So despite having no big wins in 2021, he was still really popular, and he was a bit of a fuckboy. And he was constantly cheating on his girlfriend, Caitlin Armstrong, who didn't even acknowledge she existed.
I was just going to say, what was he even claiming her?
Mm-mm. But they lived together and had a business together.
Oh my God. Okay.
And she did go with him. She did go with him to races, but he was
and she was probably like so supportive and like.
I think that he put her in a shitty situation and she knew it, and so she kind of had a bad attitude, but was like...
As would I.
I don't know. But anyway, Mo was killing it in her races, and she was super confident. So in 2021, she told a reporter that she was 100% a contender, saying, quote, particularly in cycling, women like to sell themselves short. And she was like,
I'm not going to have any part of that.
No, she's like, I'm good enough to win it. And she was. Like, I had somewhere later in my notes, but she that year had started off like winning by 25 minutes.
Oh my God, that's a massacre. Like literally she's like an athlete at heart. Like just that good.
Yeah. So in October 2021, Wilson and Strickland were both at the Big Sugar race in Arkansas. Mo won the women's, and then he didn't win or place or whatever.
So he's still like riding the coattails of what he used to be from peaking in high school. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think he's like trying to get his groove back because so much of his identity is like mixed into this, and so I think he's trying to like make a comeback, and it's just kind of not working. But at a party that night, Mo and a friend ran into Strickland and Armstrong, and she assumed everything was platonic at that point, but Armstrong was super salty. But again, she was like, I think that they had like a weird situation. He put her, like he was a flirt. I think she knew what was going on.
She's like, I'm not going to entertain this. I'm bowing out. Like, I'm not going to sit here and watch this canoodling. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to like
watch my boyfriend flirt with a bunch of other girls. So that same month, Strickland and Armstrong they had a trailer renovation business, and they incorporated that month. Strickland gave the impression that Armstrong was a difficult, volatile ex that he couldn't just disentangle himself of because of the business.
So he's like, I'm stuck with her because we're so deep in all of this. We're so involved in all the different things. And
yeah, I know. And I'm trying really hard not to be like, fuck this guy. Because
I'm feeling kind of fuck this guy already.
Yeah, I mean, but what happens, I think he's not to blame, but I think he plays a role in it. But so 2 days after the incorporation at the race, Mo, she got a call from an unknown number, and a woman says, stay away from Colin. And then she just was like, that's really weird. Somebody called, like some random person called me. And then later that night, Strickland brought Mo Wilson to a party, and Chris Tolley, a cyclist and friend of Strickland, says, quote, Caitlin knew all the other female cyclists. She was good friends with them, so it was a very public thing to bring another girl. So later that weekend...
Was Mo even, like, into this? Was, like, because at what point does it become... Are they actually, like, flirty? And...
So I think that they went together. I think that they were, like, dating. But I don't
because you know, like, who knows, like in the cycling world, or I don't know, like you can go as friends. I
don't think it was. I think it was a very much like, this is my date, we're here together, that kind of situation. So later that weekend they also went to a Halloween party together. Then they traveled to Texas together.
Ooh, that's feeling very coupley.
Yeah. And so Strickland describes this time as being separated from Armstrong, but still living under the same roof because of just like logistics. But he then said that they reconciled and that things between him and Mo became platonic and professional. In late January of 2022, Strickland and Wilson attended a bike event in Arkansas, and then Strickland brought Armstrong, and apparently they had reconciled at this point, but Mo was like,
What's
what the
going
fuck?
on?
And she had texted him, and this is a quote. She said, hey, so, ... This weekend was strange for me, and I just wanted to know what's going on. If you want to be friends, seems to be the case, then that's cool, but I'd like to talk about it, because honestly, my mind has been going in circles, and I don't know what to think.
That's a very legit text.
And very mature.
Very mature, because she could have been like, arms flailing.
I would have been mad. I would have been arms flailing.
I don't know. I don't know that I would have, but feels good.
Strickland responded, quote, hey Mo, I feel very shitty for putting you in a position where you feel uncomfortable. He then went on to explain that Armstrong had joined him in order to attend a meeting about their trailer business, and he said in hindsight this was not a good idea, is what he wrote back.
So he didn't even acknowledge, like, whether or not they came there as a couple, whether they
he
came
said that
there
they
as...
weren't there as a couple.
He's saying, oh, we came strictly for business.
Yeah. Later that spring, she's smoking the competition, winning that race by 25 minutes, being a badass. She had just put in her notice at Specialized because she was getting sponsors. She started a blog. She's planning to sublet her apartment and go into professional racing.
She's trailblazing. She's doing her own...
fucking doing it.
She's killing shit. Yeah.
And then in early May 2022... Wilson and Strickland both attended the Red Bull Rio Grande in Austin, Texas. Strickland met up with Armstrong again after taking this long solo road trip, which he had ridden in a race alongside Mo. Mm-hmm. And then they did a training run in Santa Cruz, but had traveled, I think, a little bit together. And then on May 11th, Wilson was staying... I know!
All these birthday attacks.
I know.
That's
birthday attacks.
My baby shepherd.
So on May 11th, Mo was staying with a friend of hers in Austin. Strickland picked her up on his motorcycle. They drove across town, went swimming at the Deep Eddy pool, and then had burgers and drinks next door.
Oh my God, that sounds so much fun.
I know. And then he dropped her back off at her friend's apartment at 8:36 p.m. As he was driving away...
As it gets more specific.
I know.
Yeah.
Once the times come in.
8:36 p.m. Not just 8...
Ish. I know. Once the times get involved, shit's going down. Mm-hmm. So as he was driving away, he texted Armstrong, hey, are you out? I went to drop off some flowers for Allison at her son's house up north, and my phone died. Heading home. Shortly afterwards, a security camera recorded a dark SUV with a bike rack at the back coming to a stop in the alley behind the house. Strickland arrived to his house at 8:45. His drive was caught by cameras. 45 minutes later, Armstrong arrived home too. At almost 10 p.m., Mo's friends came home to find her on the floor, unresponsive, and she'd been shot 3 times.
Oh my God.
I know.
That is fucking awful. And it's not even anything I feel like she does... I mean, nobody deserves to be shot 3 times, but...
No.
But she was literally trying
did everything.
The right thing.
She was...
Hey, just trying to figure this out. Hey, being told
honestly,
that...
I don't think that he was telling her, she wasn't being shady at all, because as far as she knew, they were broken up.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. He made it sound like, oh, I'm too entangled and too doing, that... It's just And then we're still hanging out because it's just business.
Yeah, no. So the day after the murder, the police questioned both Strickland and Armstrong. Strickland denied even being involved with Mo. He was like, no, I don't know her.
He was probably so scared, but obviously so bitch-made, because that's so stupid to, think that, anybody's going to believe him after all these events they've gone to.
Well, they do have... So he, for the most part, wasn't even a suspect because they already had him driving away, and they had most of his ride home on CCTV.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you're going to be on... if you have nothing to hide, then just be honest.
Yeah. So Armstrong... Caitlin Armstrong drove a black Jeep Grand Cherokee.
With a bike rack.
With a bike rack. So immediately put her on investigators' radar. So she was a realtor, and oftentimes she's described as a yoga teacher. If you ever Google her, it'll be yoga teacher, Caitlin Armstrong, yoga teacher, yoga Armstrong. I could not find where she taught. But she did complete a 200-hour teacher training in Bali in 2018. So a lot of people sign up for teacher trainings looking just to deepen their practice or kind of like, I don't know, I guess to deepen their practice or maybe to like heal or come back from something, and then they don't teach, and that's completely valid.
Sure.
But yoga teacher was not her main vocation, which I didn't know that when I started this. I was like, what? Yoga teacher, which is why I did the research. But she
yoga
technically
teacher goes red rum.
And so, I don't see her teaching anywhere.
No, I honestly, you're probably absolutely right. Where they just kind of
she's
go
certified to teach.
What is it called? Eat, pray, love. Like where they like. Mm-hmm, yeah. Just go like to.
She went on a spiritual journey.
Yeah.
And a lot of people at her. I mean, this is neither here nor there, but a lot of people at her at her teacher training were like, yeah, she seemed a little like off, like. She wasn't really wanting to be involved with the group, which is like fine because that's kind of how I was.
Listen, everybody has their own.
Everyone said that she
and...
felt like kind of overreactive because I guess like they said she thought she was allergic to something and then like had like a hyperventilating thing, and they were like, "You're not dying, you're fine," and then like you're breathing, you're fine, because she was like, oh, "I can't breathe," but they were like, "You're breathing."
So
fine
she was
enough.
dramatic,
like over dramatic, but you know how like. Not to say, like, not to believe people when they say they can't breathe, but you know when there's that difference. I think when you have kids. In their eyes. I think it's when you have kids, you're like, I can know the difference of when you're...
I can smell your shit from a mile away.
Yeah.
And nah. This one specifically is for reaction. Goodbye. Or, whatever.
Yeah. So she was arrested for an outstanding warrant for skipping out on a Botox bill, but then was released...
We're not going to just steamroll over that. I am sorry. We are not going to just steamroll over the fact that homegirl's red rum somebody, but she's going to get arrested. Skipping out on a Botox
But I didn't actually know that you could get arrested for skipping out on a Botox bill.
I mean, this is the thing. It matters how big the theft, right?
Yeah.
It was probably she probably got a lot of Botox because, well, in California, like, so I told you about this story when Aldrich and I went to like, well, no. Oh, so, okay. Aldrich and I went out.
Do you have an unpaid Botox bill?
Fuck no. I pay all my bills. I'm far too scared. I do for everything right.
You're like, I know the law about Botox.
No.
In the state of California.
According to the state of California. No, this guy at Outback Steakhouse told me that there was this like group of people who like bailed on their bill. They walked out, but because the bill wasn't over $1,000, they couldn't even call the cops. It was just a loss. So it has to be a significant amount that you're like bailing out on or defaulting on.
Making friends and talking about Botox with strangers at Outback Steakhouse?
Usually. That was the night, remember I told you that was the night Aldrich and I went to, like, we started at Churchill's, and then we went to Pizza Nova, and then we ended up at Outback. Yeah, we got problems. Remember? And that was the night he was like, I'm going to take you to Cowshed. I was like, no, the fuck you're not.
Yeah.
And then he took me to Cowshed like a week later.
The karaoke night.
Regret. Didn't even karaoke.
Wait, that was the karaoke night, though, with that one lady.
We went for karaoke, wasn't karaoke.
Yeah.
So nobody got to sing. Anti-Target lady.
Oh, yeah.
That was a night.
Yeah. Boycott Target lady.
Boycott Target.
We're not saying boycott Target.
We are saying that
there was a lady who was like, boycott Target.
And fucking ridiculous.
They have children's LGBTQ plus
I'm
stuff
like,
in the wild. Just witnessed one in the wild. I thought they were of legend.
I literally texted Jenna and I said, I met one in the wild. And then Aldrich that night couldn't even wait till like later on was texting Tommy, and Tommy's like, ew, you're hanging out with them still? What are you doing? And I was like,
gathering dirt for good story.
They were ridiculous. But you just know, like, you don't ever take anybody like that seriously. You're just like,
So, Botox bill.
Okay, see, tangent.
Botox bill.
So ridiculous, but so good.
I know. So it had to have been over $1,000 that she had skipped out on.
Yeah. It had to be big.
Well, this was Texas, though.
Probably like a $250.
$250.
Every Botox appointment's over $250. I'm just like fucking around and saying like their
You're
threshold.
just giving me prices.
Yeah.
Just not
just based off of what I would assume.
Yeah. I wonder if you could like see her face and be like, oh, 100%. That was $3,000.
I would need to see a before and an after. And
I'm posting a before and an after. Oh, wait, no. Not of that actual appointment, but of what she did look like and what she looks like now. Anyway.
Okay.
So she was released on a technicality because there's a discrepancy between her date of birth in the police system and like in the database and what was on the warrant.
Sheer luck.
Super.
By the hair of her chinny chin chin.
Yeah. So Strickland and Armstrong went home in a daze, and he recalled her saying, I don't know what to do. I don't know what's going on. And he told her,
Wait, they went home together?
Yeah, they went home together because they were questioned together. And then he told her, like, I just can't believe, like, I dragged you into this situation. Like, I'm so sorry. And so the police had taken their phones, and so she was like, I'm going to go get a new phone. And that was the last he saw of her.
Ever?
No.
Okay.
So according to police, that day, so May 13th, Armstrong sold her Jeep, then flew to New York with a rolled-up yoga mat and, like, not much else. And then the following Tuesday, I like how she was like, this is the one thing I'm doing.
The one thing.
That I can get for $8 literally anywhere. I don't know. Maybe not.
No, I would not buy a yoga
mat for $8.
She was like, I'm taking
this Nanduka with me.
Yeah, no, those are expensive. I'm going to get my Lululemon yoga mat. Never mind, I don't want to out. They're still very expensive. Not as I think the Manduka ones are more expensive than the Lulus.
I don't know. I'm rocking the same Lulu forever.
Same.
Anyway, so the following Tuesday, police received a report that the casings found at the home where Mo died matched the gun belonging to Armstrong. So apparently, Strickland had bought her a gun to bring, because she would go camping. She went camping alone a lot. And so he was like, here's a gun. Which
tracks for a quiet person, though. Like a person, I'm saying the camping alone piece. Yeah. People who are like kind of more quiet and recluse.
I think that, honestly, she was going through something. Like, she was working through some shit.
I mean, she obviously went to Bali, did this whole yoga training. She's going through shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Armstrong was at large for 43 days.
Oh. Was she just in the wilderness?
No. So they finally caught up to
New
her
York?
on June 29th in Costa Rica.
Oh my God!
At Don John's Surf and Yoga Lodge.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
And apparently she'd gotten there using her sister's passport. And then once in Costa Rica, she went by the name Ari and then went and sought out yoga teaching jobs. And then she cut off, she had this like long kind of curly, lighter like hair. And she cut it all off, dyed it dark, got a nose job.
Holy shit, in 43 days?
Yeah, and then even briefly dated a surf instructor. And just was like, been a pretty traumatizing breakup. And like,
she must be a compartmentalizing queen.
Or a complete fucking psychopath.
Yeah.
Well, both.
Or both. Because I don't understand how you red rum somebody and then you're like, oh, I'm going to go to New York. And then, oh, actually, I'm just going to use my sister's passport, create a whole new life, nose job, date surfer, try to be a yoga teacher, Costa Rica.
Yeah. No, it's a lot.
That's a lot in 43 days.
Yeah. She's lived a whole ass life in 43 days.
Yeah.
Become a whole new
Wait,
person.
how did she get snatched up? Tell me everything.
I don't know. She was caught by U.S. Marshals and deported back to the U.S.
We don't know how she was discovered?
I think that just like tipsters. They knew that she had left New York, but they weren't sure where to. And I think they figured out that it was her sister's passport. They narrowed down to Costa Rica, and I think that they like just did the footwork. Slowly but surely. Yeah, I think it was good police work.
Yeah, that makes sense actually.
Yeah. So she pleaded not guilty to first-degree murder. Her bail was set at $3.5 million because she's clearly a flight risk.
She's a flight risk, yeah.
So her trial was originally set for October of last year, then got moved to June of this year, and then again got pushed back to October 30th of this year. So in
like 4 days.
In 4 days. Or by the time this airs, it'll be like a few days ago. Which I'll have to post an update because I'm so curious.
Oh my God.
So last year, she lost a bid to suppress evidence from her first interview because they never read her Miranda rights. And so they were like, okay, well, they're setting this up because if they do get a guilty verdict, she can appeal still. Mm-hmm. However, October 12th of this year, so that's just like a few weeks ago, she attempted to escape. Like, I was full blown in the middle of writing this. What? And I went back to look at an article, and there was like all these new ones that had popped up.
Because she is still out there fucking shit up.
Well, so what happened was that she had been vigorously exercising for months, doing yoga and squats and running. And then, according to jail staff, she had been complaining about an injury to her leg. So she secured a medical appointment and had a request to not have any any use of leg restraints since she has a leg injury. And so in the affidavit, it said, this took me a minute. She was wearing thermal pants underneath her regular pants, which were striped. They were black and white striped. So it said that she removed her pants and was able to manipulate her left hand from the restraints before bolting. She takes off and is sprinting and hops over this hill. Or not hill, over a wall. And there's this poor security guard who is basically me, just chugging away and stumbling, in your dreams when you're trying to run and you're just falling.
You're fumbling. You're falling over, trying to get yourself back up, but you're still falling.
Yeah. This security guard, I was like, oh, I feel you so hard. But she is just a gazelle.
Well, let me be very clear. She's been training.
She's been training for
She's been getting prepared.
It was premeditated.
Yeah, and now it's go time. This is her whole wad.
Yeah. Yeah, so she tries to escape. In her cell, they found this thin metal strip was what she probably used to pick the lock on her handcuffs. It's uncertain how the attempted escape is going to affect. I thought at first they might try to push the trial date back, but it turns out, I just saw today, that they said that...
Literally today,
before you got here.
Crazy.
Is that separate charges related to the escape are going to be addressed in another hearing in November. But it's not going to affect the date that's coming up soon.
So, what would be cool is if they don't run them... Is it congruently? If they just
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if they, you know what I mean? She's going to have to pay for it on the back end.
Yeah, she will. So it'll be separate. But a lot of places are or not a lot of places, depending, most likely they're going to try to be an escape attempt is kind of admitting guilt. And so it's kind of up to the judge whether or not he's going to allow them to bring that into evidence. But that is the story or really the tragic story of Mo Wilson, who was just this beautiful, bright,
capable,
athlete,
self-motivated, seemed like a light.
Yeah.
And she got murked by
this funky lady who was suffering and on a journey, but
not afraid to take people down with her, which was
yuck, and is so calculating. And I honestly, there is something off.
100%, just based off of all. Oh, you've seen pictures? I need to see a picture.
Here, wait, let me show you this one on my Figma because I feel like this one is the one that I'm gonna post. But she is just I don't know. Yeah, there's just
oh, is this her? Oh my god, I see her already.
You see her eyeballs? I did post. Yeah, there's something that's not right.
There's nothing behind them.
Yeah, and so I did post on Instagram, I did post the video of me chasing after her. You know me as a security guard in my... So I did post it because I was like, holy shit, this is so crazy.
That's insane.
So it is on Instagram.
This has to be post nose job too.
That's post nose job.
Yeah, I need to know what she looked like before. This is the thing. Even you can see there's just nothing behind those eyes.
No.
I would be terrified from the beginning.
I wonder, I tried to find some pictures of like her with Strickland, like with Colin Strickland, and I really couldn't find anything. And I do feel like
it doesn't sound
this
like he really wanted to be with her.
Fucked around and found out.
Yeah.
Like,
but he never found out.
Well, I think
somebody else had to find out.
I've heard, what I've read is that he's like fucked up right now because he's
responsible for Mo's death. He's not, well, indirectly because it's all Armstrong's actions. It really is.
I think that he was Icarus and he flew too close to the sun and he found out.
That sucks.
I know. And so I do feel for him not being a fuckboy, but like having to suffer these consequences that are like super.
Because it's so heavy.
It's so heavy.
There's a million fuckboys out there.
And then it still is like
none of them have like, you know, very few of them, I'm assuming. Hopefully none of them. I feel
like a good amount of them are responsible for some pretty yuck stuff. But the majority of the fuckboys, I think, are not responsible for death.
No.
Just a lot of trauma. Fuckboys. What should we call this one?
Uh-oh. Okay, hold on. Nope.
We have nothing.
I'm
literally, I have nothing. I mean, it's getting late.
Because we started on fumes.
We started on fumes and we're leaving this on less
than even that.
At less than fumes. Let's just call it Caitlin Armstrong is spiritually fucked.
I say so.
Easy peasy.
Pumpkin squeezy.
Thank you for listening. Please follow us at Spiritually Effed Podcast on Instagram. And then do like us, but also rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. It helps us.
Yes, it does.
And I think that's it. Oh, if you have anything you want to send to us, you can email us at hello@spirituallyfucked.com. So if you have any good stories... Nice things only, though.
Nice things only.
We're too fragile.
I'm very fragile. I feel like our listeners have to know that.
Not just Hunter.
We have 19 other listeners.
Okay, Hunter or the other 19 listeners.
I am way too fragile. So, like, my sister.
Not mine. She doesn't know about this one yet.
No. I don't know how to keep a secret from my sister, so she knows.
No.
Or Lil.
She's a truther.
Or Louise. Oh, God. Stop. But, like, in, like, a literal term of meaning of the word. Not like a truther, whatever people think truthers are.
I told Kendra.
Oh, see? Okay.
But technically she's part of this.
She's,
so.
yeah.
But, yeah.
So, she doesn't count.
She doesn't count. No. But, I mean, I did tell literally one person who's already involved in this. But that counts. All right, bye.
Bye.